I'm Mike Sullivan. Today we are going to talk about the sway and how you can stop swaying in your backswing. Okay, so the sway. So first off, let's talk about the difference between a sway and a reverse pivot. A reverse pivot takes place when we're set up to our ball here, and you'll notice that my spine is tilted a little bit. So when I set up to a golf shot as a right-handed golfer, my backhand, my right hand is lower on the club than my left hand, and so my right shoulder's lower. And that helps to promote this sort of a tilt. And we need this sort of a tilt to our upper body throughout the swing. So a reverse pivot is when a golfer slides their hip backwards in their golf swing and they reverse that tilt. They reverse pivot. We're talking about a sway. And the thing about a sway is the best golfers in the world have some lateral movement. And so basically all good players have a little bit of a sway when they take the club back. Now, how much sway, how much lateral movement can we get away with? How much lateral movement is good for you? Well, that depends on your flexibility. Ideally, we would love to be super flexible and be able to keep basically the top of our spine, which is, you can look at my head, and our head would stay completely still as we can turn back and turn through, and everything would be just great. We hit a ton of solid shots. Based on flexibility and injuries someone may have, pre-existing conditions, not everyone's going to be able to do that. There's going to be a certain amount of movement back for everyone. The less amount we can go back though, usually the better. And so there's an app that I recommend people use. It's called PerfectMotion. It goes right on your smartphone. And the way you use it is you put it down in front of you. And for doing this exercise, to help with the sway, I recommend that you work on this actually at home. And earlier today I had a mirror set up here and I was working outside. But you can do it at home in front of a mirror, set your phone down right in front of you on top of a head cover, and then you want to take a look at what you're doing in the mirror. Now, if you can swing a club inside of the house, do that. If not, get outside, or you can even do it at a range. One thing I'd recommend doing is hit some balls with PerfectMotion looking at you on your phone, and then make some practice swings and see if there's a difference on what's going on, especially if you're getting that sway type of a fault where it shows when you're making your backswing. You start off, when you look at that app, your chest is into position 1. If position 2 goes back behind that bar there on your screen, that's going to be a sway. See if you can correct it in a practice swing. If you can, that might be kind of interesting. But here's what happens in the sway. Generally, most people, when we set up to a shot, we're here. I'm going to turn my shoulders 90 degrees relative to my spine. All right? My head's not moving a whole heck of a lot. If you look at me from this angle, so I've got my spine tilted and I'm turning my shoulders 90 degrees relative to my spine. A lot of times somebody who sways, when you look at them from this angle, well, if you look at them from this angle, what happens is they flatten their shoulders out. It makes them stand up a lot of times. So if you get a sway fault on that PerfectMotion app, you may also get a posture fault that you're coming up out of your posture, okay? So if we are flattening our shoulders, we're really not turning our shoulders relative to our initial spine angle, and that's gonna cause a lot of times lateral movement. All right, so here's how you wanna practice it. Forget about the ball, get in front of a mirror at home, look in the mirror, take note of where your sternum is, take note of where your nose is, right? Look in the mirror and see if you can turn just like that. Now the key is, when I am turning my shoulders 90 degrees to my spine, what's also happening is my left shoulder goes from a position where it's higher than my right, and my left shoulder gets low, my right shoulder gets high. Okay, that's one way that you can think about it, but all we're trying to do is get our shoulders here to turn 90 degrees to our spine. That's really all we're trying to do. Now granted, our joints aren't set up that simply, right? But that's the basic move we're trying to make. One way you can learn this is to take this tilt out of the equation. So stand straight up here like this, okay? So take that primary spine angle out, get straight up and vertical. Now this way we don't want to stay vertical. I'm going to tilt a little bit like this. Club across your shoulders, looking right in the mirror, and just turn. And you can watch, oh, I get a lot of lateral movement there, I get less. If I tilt more, my shoulders get more over my backside. Okay, so learn it first this way before you do it this way. And you can use that PerfectMotion app without a ball in the house. It's going to show you how much your sternum is moving backwards. So everyone may have a different limit on how good they can get on this. So how do you know when you're doing as well as you can do? Well, what you want to do is take the PerfectMotion app with you to the driving range. And I'd recommend if you have some of those earbud things, those wireless earbuds, put them in your ears. That way everyone else doesn't have to hear them. Or you can turn the sound down on your phone, right? But take it with you, get it set up looking at you, hit your shot, right? So say you get a little sway, boom, you hit your shot. And you're gonna get a notice that says that you swayed, fine. But then it gives you an opportunity. You can, if it was still a good shot, it'll say nod if it's a good shot, shake if it's a bad shot. All right. So then what you can do is you're starting to train the artificial intelligence within the PerfectMotion app as to what it is that you do when you hit good shots. And then if you're looking to get some help from a professional, I've got a setup where you can go right to my website, and for a monthly fee, pretty low monthly fee actually, I'll be able to look at your motion maps, and I'll be able to advise you on what it is you want to work on in order to help correct your swing, help you do what's best for you. We even have it set up so that we can do a once a month Zoom-like lesson, or a virtual lesson, and get together kind of in person to go over the stuff that the app is showing you. So the sway is just a matter of making a turn where you have too much lateral motion going back. And that PerfectMotion app, is the best way I think that you can work on it. And if you don't have access to that, just get in front of a mirror and take a look at how much your upper part of your spine is actually turning back when you make that backswing. Okay? I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.